Day 15, Monday the 15th of May. Our journey this morning took us through more beautiful scenery, from Jakes Corner to Tagish.
This is Tagish.
We parked on the other side of the Tagish Bridge and chatted to a local fisherman from Carcross who was about to go out fishing on a dinghy with friends. Then we took a walk across the bridge to get a few photos. It was really cold, so I set off back to the warmth of the RV while Larry stayed on the bridge to chat to two more fishermen from Carcross. The next thing I heard was Larry calling out, "Sharon, come and look, come and take a photo of us." Two fishermen had caught two large trout and had graciously given one to us. That was half of their catch, which Larry said no to, but they insisted. One of the fishermen was called T-Bone. It's easy to remember his name.
For Sharon, yes. For me,
So Larry set about filleting the trout while we all stood around and chatted.
However, we only had the knife that was supplied with the RV unit, and the handle broke off. Cheap junk, not my fault, but I'll have to replace it. I just managed to fillet the fish, but I couldn't save some of the other good bits. So we've put the fillets in the fridge in a pot to deal to later. Then back over the bridge so I could throw the remains back into the water. I missed. It landed on a huge chunk of moving ice.
There was lots of ice moving down the river, clinking and clattering and banging into each other. It sounded like broken glass. By the time we walked back to the RV, the birds were having a free feed from the remains of the trout as it floated down the river.
There's our fish floating away.
From here, we drove to Carcross. What a quaint little town this is.
It was way different from when I was here 11 years ago. It's been fully renovated to add more appeal to tourists.
All the same, it is a lovely little town with plenty of shops to wander through. I got to do this while Larry was talking with the ladies in the visitors centre. Thanks to them, we even managed to fill up our water tank before leaving.
Our final leg of today's journey was driving from Carcross to Skagway. This presented the most beautiful scenery either of us have ever seen in our lives. So don't grizzle about the number of photos and videos we took along the way. This is only a glimpse of what we saw.
The mountains and the snow were right down to ground level. There were so many opportunities to stop, get out of the car and soak it all in.
We also got photos of the White Pass train from Skagway rolling down the track.
We stood watching a small bird about the size of a seagull for a long time, waiting for it to come more into view. It had such a strange call. We found out later that it is a ptarmigan.
Stopped on the road to Skagway again. There is just so much to take in here. It's just incredible. These views just keeps on going. And we had to stop just before the US border on our way to Skagway to cook all of our eggs so they could be taken over the border into Alaska. And here we are outside Customs office before we get to Skagway. We've just come into Alaska from Canada and we're all clear. Just cost us $60 US to get in here. And while I was there chatting to the border control guy, he said he never gets bored looking at that scenery coming and going from work each day. And I don't get bored watching it over and over again on this video.
Wow! On arrival in Skagway, we immediately parked up and made our way to the grocery store. That was a bit of a shock. They were expensive even at US dollars. When almost doubled to match New Zealand prices, we left a lot of things on the shelf. A cauliflower was US $9.99, which made it around 17 New Zealand dollars. Hopefully we can find some cheaper stores when we've crossed over to Haynes.
Out from the shops and we took a drive out to Daya, spelt D-Y-E-A. This was done on the recommendation from the lady at the Visitors Centre in Carcross. She is a camper van lady and knows lots of the different places of where to go in the area. So she sent us out on this gravel road, which is very narrow, but we easily got through.
And as has happened before, we found a lovely pull-off on a flat area with the mountains as our backdrop. We have booked our passage on the ferry from Skagway to Haynes for Sunday the 17th, so we have a day tomorrow to have a good look around Skagway.
And that's us for tonight. Bye for now.